Are you ready to eliminate your credit card processing fees? Visit www.pairpayments.com and use code JAKE for a $250 Visa gift card when you join today.
This is the Inspection Pros Podcast, where we break down everything you need to know to grow a successful home inspection company. Join host Jake as we get insider knowledge from the industry's best on how to take your business to the next level.
Welcome back to the Inspection Pros Podcast, your favorite business building podcast for the inspection industry. And today I have a very exciting announcement and podcast awaiting all of our audience. So we are very excited to discuss today our new partnership with High Level Marketing, a fantastic marketing company that we were so fortunate to meet. Wes, where exactly did we meet again?
Yeah, so I think it was Boston, actually. I think I was in your neck of the woods. I think we were both at a mutual small business expo. And the funny thing is like, nobody on my team wanted to go. And I'm like, no, I want to go. I want to check it out. Like, you never know what opportunities are there. And I think I had the opportunity to chat with Alyssa. And yeah, here we are.
Here we are. So yes, we met in my backyard. And I'm very excited to bring everyone today Wes Mathews from High Level Marketing. Wes, yes, we met right in my backyard, like really seriously across the street, the Boston Convention Center. And right off the bat, I knew that you guys have a great service, a great product, and through getting to know you more, I've really gotten to understand not only what you guys do, but what it can do for the companies that work with you. And I can tell you that from firsthand experience. So what I want to get into right now, Wes, is what exactly do you guys do? Just for everyone who doesn't know High Level Marketing, hasn't met you at an event, what do you guys do? And then we're going to get into a whole bunch of great stuff. And right off the bat, I want to mention it just in case anyone misses it later on in the podcast. And we're actually going to have it pop up on the screen. But later on in the podcast and in the description, there's going to be a link for a free appointment, a free SEO appointment to have Art, who is the, what is his position again?
Yeah, so he's the VP of sales. So he's the best one to really take his time, help anybody that wants to get more information about, where they're at, what improvements we can make. So he's the guy. He's way better than I am. And that's why we're putting his link in the description over mine.
Absolutely. So now, why? Why are we clicking the link? What exactly, Wes, does High Level do?
So started High Level Marketing back in 2009. So here we are, 2022. And the idea was, I wanted to be a very transparent digital marketing company because at the time I had a lot of frustrated people around me like, look, we're spending money here. We're not getting results. We don't know who to trust. So that was where the idea was bred from. So fast forward today, we are a larger company. I currently sit as Chief Growth Officer. We have a CEO who's driving the organization. We have about 120 plus employees, and we focus on home services and healthcare. And we really focus on website design development, of which we have our own platform that we've created. Some very awesome AI technology, SEO. So second up, we do organic search engine optimization. Number 3, we do paid search very, very well. So again, website design development, organic SEO, and paid search. So there's some other things that we do, but for all the listeners and everybody, those 3 things are our top 3 bread and butter items.
Absolutely. And for anyone out there, and we can get into some specifics in a little bit, but for anyone out there who doesn't know, all right, do I need this? What can this do for my company? Do you have any stories handy of home service companies, maybe even home inspection companies that have worked with you and have really been able to take their business to the next level?
Yeah, for sure. So oftentimes we run into customers, even till today, that they're like, I really haven't had a good experience with a marketing company, or I don't believe in digital marketing. We don't need to advertise. The concept is great where we have developed some AI and some technology around search engine optimization. So we actually have the ability to pull a report based on a current business's domain name. So for example, if you're in the home inspection world, we run that URL through our technology. and it spits out the 5 top pillars of, SEO and where you're at. So simply put, it really shows people, does it make sense or not to invest in digital marketing? And then what outcome could you expect? So for example, oftentimes there's a lot of individuals that are like, I've tried it before, it doesn't work, but they don't know what their local market could generate in terms of opportunities. So they just continue on doing what they're doing. So I can't really tell you how many businesses we met that were really gun shy or really nervous. And again, rightfully so, they've been burned. But allowing us to really show them the value in doing this the right way, what opportunities those create. So we take people that aren't online at all or have zero presence to getting their Google business, listed appropriately, getting them ranked for their major keywords in their local markets. Then they start to get phone calls, they start to see it and they believe it. I mean, we've had guys that started with 1 truck that now have 50 trucks on the road. We grow and scale with our customers. Man, we love home service companies because they're highly searched online. And if you're not online or you're not comfortable with the existing marketing company, we just love to share the data and let our potential customers make an educated decision. So, I mean, it's 20, it's what, 13 years from the time the company was started. I'm still excited because we solve a lot of problems for businesses, which is, on the home service side, guys are typically good at their craft. It's just on the lead generation side, they're not as good. So working with the right company, it just works so well.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you mentioned this because this is something that we've focused on a lot on this podcast, which is with marketing, you have an issue, right? That you can't wear all the hats in your business. You're the technician, you're the owner, you're a bookkeeper, you're doing everything. You're focused on everything in your business, right? You're HR as well. And so what do? You look for a third party who can help you with that so that you don't have to do it, yet your business can still be growing. Something like getting the leads you were talking about. So a lot of the times, you're right. We hear over and over again that people have bad experiences with marketing companies, that marketing companies don't work, nothing they're doing is giving me the results I'm looking for. And, we talk about how important marketing is, but it's kind of tough. Like, how do you juggle that? Marketing I know is important, but I can't do it myself. I don't have the time. It takes away from everything else. So when you find a company like High Level, right away, discussing this with you and then, talking more in length and going through, meetings with us to try to figure out what we can do differently, you really start to understand that this is a company that knows what they do, knows what they're doing, that have a track record. And one specific thing that really caught my attention, Wes, was the tool you have that kind of audits your presence. What was that tool?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, that tool was created from my partner and I, because how does a human or a salesperson really understand any outcome for marketing? And I will tell you, this is the challenge in the marketing world and why a lot of people have bad experiences, because consumers, meaning the home services guys, they sign up with a company, they spend thousands of dollars a month, they don't really know what outcome is going to happen, and then they're frustrated and pissed off, and the company's like, nobody knows, and communication isn't fluid. So what I want to do is I want to make it really transparent in the sense that if we could build a tool that could assess, because with SEO, a lot goes into it in terms of like length of a URL and so many different things that go into it, we're able to put that URL through our system and it spits out the current state of the website, the speed, just the current SEO status, the competition, and it just gives the end user and that prospect, like they're looking at real data and then they see where they're at and they see where the improvements are. So really we're giving them a recipe, so to speak, to say, hey, you can bake the cake yourself if you really want to, but in our world to do it right, you need a sous chef, you need 13 different touch points to make this right. Like, let us cater to you and deliver this. We're the experts. You continue to do what you do. And leveraging the technology keeps it really simple for the prospect, the customer, to like have a clear expectation, but then it also allows our team to have a clear expectation so we can set a realistic goal and framework around the strategy and the execution so there's no surprises. So for me, that's the smoking gun that's missing with a lot of marketing companies. It's a lot of talk and a lot of you pay this and we'll try to get that. We don't work that way. I don't want customers to just throw money at something and not really know an outcome. So that's the differentiator. And that's why the tool's so great and so powerful. And I think where you guys can add a lot of value to your customers and prospects too, to show them like, look, there might be some opportunities here with your digital marketing, and at least have a conversation. So I like to educate people, and once you give them information, let them make a choice. So I oftentimes talk with a lot of people that, they're currently spending money with a digital marketing company, and if they're happy or not, at least I can give them a tool in a sheet of paper that says, this is where you should be at, and they can then make their own assessment based on that. So keeps it real simple. I'm a simple guy. I don't like complicated wizardry, all these analytics and how people talk super fancy. It's just yes, no, what is it doing? What's the lead acquisition cost? Keep it real simple.
And I love that. I love that you're not spitting out back to me a bunch of numbers and graphs and all that.
Yeah.
It's just very simple to diagnose and understand and track. So, before, in case anyone misses it, I want to say it one more time. We're going to get into this SEO appointment where you can have a consultation at no cost. I just want to put it in there because I forgot to put it in there earlier. On the High Level Marketing website or link or wherever you're at, the coupon code to get the discount is PAIR Payments. Use the coupon code PAIR Payments to get that discount. So Wes, we've talked a little bit about what you guys can do, how we can diagnose, how we can track. Now, I highly recommend this to all of our viewers, at least to talk to you, especially if there's this appointment at no cost. But I know a question a lot of people are going to have, because we have a lot of people that listen to this podcast that are trying to grow their business because they just started, right? Maybe it's them as the owner operator. Maybe they have a teammate or a team member or two. I'm not sure exactly where everyone is at. So my question to you is, who is high level marketing for? Is this something that anyone here can do, or is it something that you'd say, hey, we can help you, try to guide you this way, but when you're ready to work with us, when you're here, let us know. What kind of company should be working with you?
Yeah, so first of all, any and everybody, we love to have conversations, even if you don't feel you're ready, for us to help you with a foundation or framework to get there. We're happy to do that. But I would say if you're doing between 250K to 500, that's where the investment starts to make sense. Because Jake, I think the one important thing about marketing, sometimes people look at it as an expense, and sometimes people look at it as an investment. So the challenge is, if you're not doing a lot of revenue yet and you're just getting started, everything is kind of like, oh man, that's an expense, or that's really expensive. The reality is we have programs that are down to like $500 a month. So I think it's worth a conversation for anybody, because the value and even the recipe card we're going to give you is going to help you tremendously. So I can't tell you over the years how many conversations I've had, or just, if we're going to spend a half hour with somebody, even if we can't help them, I want to lay the right foundation and give them as much information, because guess what? It always comes back. Like, I'm a big believer in karma, and I love entrepreneurs. I love people that are trying to grow, and I'll give as much information away. I had a meeting earlier today about, a young guy, and it was kind of nice to be able to give like experience share around like things that I've been through, if I can offer a shortcut. So, if you have $500 a month, you can make a serious capital investment in your marketing. And look, I've seen with my own eyes companies that have started there that are now spending tens of thousands of dollars a month with us, and they are growing their business. So, don't be shy, just to have a conversation. That's all it is. You never know what can come out of it. So you'll definitely, walk away with some new information for sure.
Absolutely. And so I love that you called it an investment and not an expense in marketing, because I was recently having a conversation with a marketing expert who actually, Ted. And Ted was telling me that when you think about marketing, to think about the ROI. And so that right there, return on investment, you're calling it investment. And what he was telling me is, hey, for events, if you are, hosting an event for maybe a real estate agent, if you're a home inspector or something in your community, he was saying you want to look for a 5x multiple on the investment, right? If you put 10,000 in, you want to get 50,000 out that you can attribute to that event. So with your marketing stuff, if someone is like really just starting out on marketing and isn't too experienced, what should they look for in ROI to know if that campaign is successful or not?
So me personally, I'm a big 10-to-1 guy, and I always think you can get there. However, with digital marketing, if you think about a small business, the owner's going to do all the marketing themselves if they don't have a marketing person. So let's think about that. Like, what's a marketing person going to cost a small business owner? Let's say $40,000 to $100,000 a year. So again, using simple math, keeping things very simple, if I can spend $500 to $1,000 a month for a website, an organic package, and I can start to get some leads, if I would have to hire that marketing body in the organization, you have a salary, you now have a responsibility, you have 8.5% in the state of Michigan employer state match tax. You're spending $5,000 a month on that person. Now, by any means am I not saying don't hire people and spin off and do automation all day, but for what you're getting in return and the depth of our team of 120 plus people, that you have SEO teams, content teams, web creative teams, customer service managers. So all of our customers get managed by a customer service manager who's managing the outcomes and the goals of the account. That individual on our team is happy to have conversations, talk about new things, marketing. They're basically there throughout the whole experience. They stay very close with their customers. So, I think that 10-to-1, but I also think looking at this from, if you were to bring all of this in-house, that simple $500 to $1,000 investment would cost you like $500,000+ a year. Yeah. So, and it's kind of an interesting way to think of it, because, I think a lot of small businesses right away, they get very like, oh, that's $500, that's really expensive, I don't need it. But it's all about, and again, to your point of the 10x, 5x, 15x, there's so many other things that go into it than just straight leads. I mean, when you're passing out business cards, when people land on your website, your overall brand, there's so much more than just straight lead generation. So to me, there's just so much value packed into the website, the paid search and organic search, where it's almost invaluable. The reality is it's so invaluable for what we charge, I feel.
Oh, I agree. The intangibles to me are the biggest thing with a website. I'll look up a company, go to their website, and depending on how the website looks and feels, that's my quick judgment on whether or not it's a legit company that I want to use.
Right, 100%. Not to mention, like, we're assisting customers with, review management, right? Like, how do they get more Google reviews? And we built systems for that. So, it's so much more than just, we're going to get you ranked and you're going to be on the top of Google. It's all these other things that, security of your website. Like, there's so many hack attempts, broken software and technology. Like, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Like, it's the stuff that we do in the background that our customers don't even know that's happening,
Yeah. And you know what? It's amazing to have experts who can do it at an affordable price. And if someone is listening to this and thinks, you know what, I'm not ready, even that plan that you'd mentioned at $500, if you think you're not ready and you can't afford it, I highly recommend, first of all, obviously, I do think it's really important to offload actions like this in your business. If you really want to grow and take your business to the next level, super important to get third parties to do things so that you're not spending time in something you're not an expert at when you can be spending that time much more valuably. But I think one of the other things here is the reason why we as Pair Payments have partnered, the sponsors of this podcast, the producers of this podcast, have partnered with High Level Marketing, because if you think you can't afford something like this to take your business to the next level, you can work with Pair Payments, use our no-fee processing, and then the money you save in processing fees can now be applied to marketing to grow your company even faster.
Yeah, and to me, like, that was the no-brainer, right? I think when I first met Alyssa, I met you guys in Boston. Just to elaborate on that a bit, and the example I've been telling people, it's like, our customer, let's say a plumber, is doing $1 million in revenue, right? Or anybody listening that's doing $1 million in revenue. We both know, more than I do, like, this is your space, but they're spending about $30,000 a year, and they're spending that to credit card processing fees. So the New World Order, as I see it, I'm in Southeast Michigan, and now when I go out to eat or I do certain things, when I get a bill, it's like, here's your cash price, here's your credit card price, here's your Venmo price, and that fee is being put on to me, which I'm okay with that. I think that's fine. However, what you just mentioned about, that cash now that's available for that business, that $30,000, instead of sticking it in your pocket, again, that's great. Make the investment. Now you would have $2,500 a month to invest in your business, to grow your business. So that's where the pair payments and high level marketing relationship is really great. But on the flip side of that too, at high level marketing, we have about 2,200 customers that also process credit cards that would love to expand their marketing. So the other way that this is a mutual beneficial partnership is we want to start introducing our clients to pair payments, because we only partner with people we trust, and our clients know that. And what you and I do is it's a very, you got to have trust, you got to have rapport with your client. You guys can save them some money, and then we can allocate those extra dollars to really invest more and scale their business even more. So I haven't, that's a huge win both ways.
Yeah.
And it's great, right? Because we're in the same space, right? A lot of people have been burned by merchant processors, burned by marketing companies. So having the right partnerships where, we're both kind of fishing in the same pond, so to speak, with the right companies and synergy, like ultimately the customer wins. Because we all have a vested interest. And that was what attracted me to pair payments and you guys, and probably vice versa. Like, we both see the vision and we're like, hey, like very fundamental things that we want, and we want to do right by the customer and really help them grow, and that's why this is going to be a success.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that our listeners know that pair payments is very invested in having our clients and the industry as a whole grow. That's why we do these podcasts. That's why we bring on experts in any field, whether it be marketing or accounting or anything. We've had experts in all these fields, such as Wes, so that we can help you grow your company. And whether it be home inspection or another home service business, welcome if you're not in the home inspection industry and you're listening to this. But that's why we want you to grow. While we highlight a lot of other companies, we don't partner with someone unless we think, hey, this can be incredible value and we trust these guys. So High Level Marketing is a company that I highly recommend. Go check that out. Again, I want to say I'll drop the Calendly link here. It's www.calendly.com/art Johnson JOHNSON/30min MIN. So www.calendly.com/art Johnson/30min. So that'll be up on the screen. That'll be in the description. And anywhere you need to use a coupon code, you can input pair payments. So I do want to get to Wes while I have you here, just because we have so many fantastic things. Actually, let's go real quick before we get to my question there. This appointment with Art, can you give us a little bit of who Art is and what people should expect to get out of this free SEO consultation?
Yeah, for sure. Art Johnson, he's been with High Level Marketing for over a decade. And the reason why you're getting Art Johnson versus Wes Mathews, I work more on the growth side and the partner side. So if people want to have partnership conversations, I'm your guy. The one-to-one where, if you're a home inspector and you just want somebody to really understand your perspective, or, hey, this is where I'm at. Art has a wealth of experience, and he is just a pro on the home services team, and just having just good old-fashioned conversation. It's funny to me oftentimes, I hear marketing companies, or I hear what's the sales pitch? I'm like, we don't sales pitch anybody. It's just, what's the problem, and then how can we help you overcome that problem? So I wanted to have Art Johnson do here, one, because he's a little bit more available than I am, and we want to make sure we can address questions. But he really takes the time, and he's very thorough, and he's very direct. Like I said earlier, I'm a very simple guy. So is Art. He'll give you a straight up assessment, have a great conversation, and give you some great takeaways. So he just works really well on the home service side. However, we do have a full staff on High Level Marketing. We have about 10 sales representatives on our team that are more than willing and ready and happy to talk to anybody. But that was it.
So please take High Level Marketing up on this offer. This is a fantastic offer for our audience only. So please take advantage of that. Go check that out. And you know what? Even if you think you're not ready to be able to use High Level Marketing, like Wes said, go have a conversation with them. I'm sure that you'll learn a lot and that they'll point you in the right direction, and you'll be ready to take your business to the next level even faster. So Wes, the question that I had that I pushed off for later is, well, we have you here. You're a marketing expert. You've been in the field for over a decade. What is something that you've seen a lot of people, specifically in the home service or home inspection industry specifically, that you've seen them do that you would recommend, not doing or doing differently? I'm basically wondering, what do you see working or what's not working? I love to leave people with an actionable item, something that they can go do today.
What's jumping in front of me right now as you ask that, it's based around Google reviews. I've seen some really good action taken when people leave. Look, let's face it, like every business in the online world we live in, people can leave comments and reviews at any time, any place, right? And sometimes I see business owners, especially in the home services space, react negatively and kind of put that information on the reviews. My recommendation is, take 24 to 48 hours and maybe even pass that buck on to somebody else. I mean, I think it's really smart to address every review you get. In the event of a negative one, I think you have to take your steps even further, really reach out to the customer, rectify the challenge. Reviews are everything. And let me tell you why. Like this, I'll use a personal example. I wanted to get, I might have said this in our last conversation, to be honest. So I apologize if I'm being redundant, but I think it's an important one. I want to get my basement finished, and I have 4 young kids at home, and I have a spouse, my wife, and one of my biggest objections on getting my basement finished is, contractors are going to have to come through my house, through my kitchen, to go to my basement every day, and I'm like, the thought of having contractors in and out of my house for the next 3 months, like, I just don't want to do that. So long story short, I had a conversation with a local company. They had really solid Google reviews, like to the point I read every one of them. Because number one, it's an expensive project. So I had the sales guy come out and I said, before we even get started, let me tell you my 2 objections. One, I just explained it. And I said, contractors are in the house, like outside smoking on their phone. Like you draw up these things that are going to happen in your head. And he's like, we hire our own people. We use builder trends. So every day you're going to know who's coming in and out, blah, blah, blah. Like literally overcoming my objections with like, okay, this almost sounds too good to be true. I went out on a limb. I hired this company because of the Google reviews backed up what the salesman said. Yeah. So I said, this is my best attempt. These guys knocked it out of the park, like completely knocked it out of the park. I mean, what he said, they delivered on. I literally then, like, I'm a hard ass. Like, it takes a lot for me to, like, really fall in love with a company. Like, I have a very high expectation. I wrote them a Google review where I literally laid out everything that probably related to a lot of people that have a lot of the same general challenges. I get a call from the CEO, I forget how long after, and he's like, hey, I just want to thank you. And I said, for what? Because I like totally forgot, and he's like, that review you left, he's like, we've gotten like X amount of jobs, like people read it and they're like, holy shit, like this makes total sense and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, and they like send $100. I'm like, I appreciate it. But like, the fact that you guys did a phenomenal job and like my basement looks amazing and my, it was just a great experience. But it just goes to show like, Google reviews is what got me to sign them and spend $150,000 to do my basement. And then it's the gift that keeps on giving. Like you have no idea who's looking at it, who's sharing it. And then furthermore, I had a basement issue where I had some leaking going on and some other issues, and like the company just took care of it. So it's like, it was like a win-win for me and the company, but really focus on Google reviews. And we actually help with that. So part of our strategy is we help you get more Google reviews. So we're helping customers, because like, how do you do that as a small business owner and not sound tacky? Like, hey, Jim, can you leave me a Google review? We use email technology, customer follow-up through sequences that help you get positive Google reviews for your business. I mean, they're so important. I mean, if you don't have that strategy as a small business owner, you have to start thinking about that, and you better get started today.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Just like I was saying with the website, and how that's how I verify if someone's a legitimate business or not. That's another way I do it as well as Google reviews. I mean, everyone. If you're worried about reaching people in your local community, and you're spending ad dollars and nothing's working, maybe it's a lack of reviews. People are coming to your page on Google and they're just not seeing reviews.
Yeah, I mean, look, I order a lot of stuff on Amazon. I mean, Amazon pretty much fulfills 90% of your needs. I think my default set to Prime shipping, I want it now, and it's 4 stars or better. If Amazon gave the option of 4.5 stars or 5 stars, I would select that. But I'm not even wasting my time looking at stuff that's under 4 stars. So if I see a product or a service that 300 people gave 4 stars or better, 4.5, and it's gutter cleaning, home inspection, power washing, like if it's good enough for 500 people at 4.5, it's hard to dupe 500 people, in my opinion. So like that to me is that's everything, and that's where the market's shifting. I mean, I would say Google reviews actually account for about 15 to 20% of your overall organic search strategy. Mm-hmm. So again, we talk about digital marketing and SEO. There's so much that goes into it, and so many things that we're thinking about. And we just try to help the end user, the customer. We give them ideas and talk about these things, and just a lot of stuff in the digital world.
Absolutely. So real quick, what I do want to give a little plug for is our last episode with Wes Mathews here. We aired an episode June 16th called High Level Marketing with Wes Mathews. Very unique name, or very creative name, I know. But that episode aired on June 16th. And there's a 48-minute episode that was jam-packed with amazing insight on marketing, specifically for the home inspection industry from Wes. So please go check out that episode if you haven't already. That's High Level Marketing with Wes Mathews, aired June 16th. 48 minutes if you're looking for it by duration. So go check out that episode. You left some fantastic nuggets for us there. And as you've done today, Wes, thank you very much. Is there anything else that you want to leave our audience with?
Yeah, not really. I think digital marketing can be a very confusing world. And the mission we have is, if we can add value and help, that's really why we're putting the link here. Have a conversation. It's a safe space. I've got somebody. I have a buddy who's very successful, who called me the other day, and he's like, something doesn't seem right. And I actually don't manage his digital marketing. He's through a different vendor, and something didn't sound right or feel right to him. And he asked me a question, and the first thing he said, he's like, I feel stupid. And he felt comfortable enough to have the conversation. And I think that's probably the elephant in the room of people don't want to come across and be like, I have no idea what my lead cost is. I have no idea. It's okay. I guess what I'm saying is that stuff's okay. Like, we're here to help educate and give you the tools and to give you ideas and direction. If you don't know what your lead acquisition cost is, that's okay. If you don't know how many leads you're getting, that's okay. If you don't know what you want, that's okay too. I mean, we can help you understand what the market is and what you should be getting. So at any stage, I would just say, that's just who we are. We're not going to judge you. We're not going to, we don't really care. We just want to offer value and meet you where you're at and give you some good advice and move on. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Please take up Wes Mathews and High Level Marketing on this offer. Go chat with them, see what you can do, and let them hold your hand in the marketing part of your business. Because you know what, You're right. I know a lot of people that are very proud of what they've been able to build by themselves, and they don't want to hand off some things. They don't want to seem like they don't know how to do something. But you know what? Sometimes we have to kind of let that go. And if we want to get to the next level, we have to, go to someone who's done it before. So if you were able to get your business to here and you want to get here, and for anyone just listening, I'm moving my hands up and down to higher levels. Yep. If you want to get to that highest level that your business can grow, you need to get someone involved that's been there and done it before. So absolutely take them up on this offer. Once again, discount code is PAIR Payments, PAIR, Payments, PAYMENTS, and then the Calendly link is calendly.com/artjohnson/30 minutes. please take them up on it. So thank you very much, Wes.
Yeah.
This has been a great call today.
Yeah, no, for sure. I appreciate it. I think the one thing I'd mention, I'm very entrepreneurial. High Level Marketing is an entrepreneurial run organization. We grew it from an idea. Today we sit at about 120 team members and about 22 million in revenue. So, we've grown this organization just like any entrepreneur. So we just love working with entrepreneurs and giving advice. And if there's anything that we can do, there's been certain things that have really helped us get and scale the organization, and we're happy to have I'm happy to have those conversations in terms of what really allowed us to really kind of step on the gas and do certain things like a partner program, EOS, and other things that really help create clarity around the organization. So you can always find me on LinkedIn. That's probably the easiest way. Wesley Mathews, Mathews with 1 T, Chief Growth Officer of High Level Marketing. I'm also open to having those conversations too.
Perfect. It's perfect because I was just going to ask you how people find you if they want to ask you questions, because this has just been a great episode once again.
Awesome. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. So thank you, Wes. Can't thank you enough. And thank you to our audience for tuning in. Of course, take up High Level Marketing on this offer, but also don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode. Seriously. As I always say, rate and review, like we talked about in the episode. Please rate and review this podcast so that it gets seen by more people. But the most important thing you can do is share this podcast. Whether it's the channel, this episode, share this podcast with other, home service, whether it's home inspection or a different similar industry. Share this podcast with someone who can take the advice, the golden nuggets, all the input and insight that we offer on this podcast from the amazing experts. Share it with someone who can use that to grow their business. So please like, subscribe, share, and as always, stay tuned. We have a fantastic roster of guests that will be coming to you shortly. So I will see you next week where we have another great episode coming. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thanks for listening to the Inspection Pros Podcast. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell so you won't miss our next episode. This episode was produced by Jake Aronson. This has been a Pair Payments production.